Okay, this is a slightly irregular video, and it concerns all this gaming sexism, misogyny, furore with Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn, and the gaming journalists and all this bullshit. And I won't claim to understand it all, right? I won't claim to understand it all. There's just one bit of it that I really don't understand that's kind of really winding me up now, because this is not the first time that this has happened. And if you want to file this video under anything, probably file it as man lets off steam and probably ends up swearing somewhere along the line, because that's probably what's going to happen. Having followed that, I'm seeing the same things happen as happened with atheism and atheism plus, the same things that have happened often with the same people involved in the skeptics organisations, and now with a largely with a different group of people involved in many ways. It's happening in gaming, which is that there are a series of complaints made. In this case, it's Anita Sarkeesian's series, and I'm not really going to go into that because I'm not an expert in gaming. I've watched some of her videos. I can see some points that she's making. There seems to be some horrible cherry picking going on, and I know that I've just played the Tomb Raider from last year. I'm probably about 2/3 of the way through. You can only play as a woman, and so far I must have killed about 200 men, blown their brains out, strangled them, done all unspeakable ways of murdering them in the most horrible agony. And I've only murdered men. You can only play as a woman and you can only kill men. But that's cherry picking, because most games aren't like that. But it's so easy to cherry pick. It's so easy to pick on one factor and say, look, I've demonstrated A, and then just leave that hanging as if we all agree with A leads to B leads to C, or that B and C are necessarily wrong because that A is there. And that's what I got from Anita's videos. But it's not for me to pick them apart. There's better people to do that. And it's not for these trolls to pick them apart. And that's what's really got me wired up, are these fucking trolls. Because trolls are pricks, right? I make no bones about it. I think trolls, and I'm not talking about the type of monster that lives under a bridge and stops you crossing. I'm talking about online trolls. You try and make people's online life a misery. That's what their aim is, to make your online life a fucking misery. And if they can make your offline life a misery as well, then so much the fucking better. They're so much the happier for that. And makes them total fucking wankers. But it's not that they're total fucking wankers, because I know that people are total fucking wankers. I've lived in the universe, right? I'm aware of what human beings are like. What I can't get my head around is what total fucking retarded wankers they are, because they shoot themselves in the foot. They've seen what Anita Sarkeesian's videos are about, and they disagree on issues, right? We understand you don't necessarily know what those issues are, but they disagree on issues, and they themselves might not be eloquent enough, cogent enough to, or clever enough to make a cogent response to Anita. There are plenty of people who can, and there are people that have tried to, but those people are drowned out. Those people end up being just, if you try and respond to somebody like Anita Sarkeesian, you end up just getting shunted alongside all these trolls as well. You're just another one of the misogynists now, because everything is now tied up with the online aggression. Everything is coated in these online death threats, online bullying, online calling all women whores and cunts and all this lot. It all gets tied up together, and I do not understand how stupid if you have an argument, right, in real life, and everybody must have seen this or experienced it from one side or another, whether it's with your mother or your father or your girlfriend or your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or your very best mate, you can be totally owning that argument. They can be on the cusp of just giving in. You can have all your fucking ducks lined up there in a row, and they're just about to say, do you know what, I'm totally wrong and you're totally right. And just before they're about to do it, you lose control and you whack them in the face, let's say. As soon as you do that, you've lost the argument. Why have you lost the argument? Because the argument stops being about what it was about, and it now becomes about you whacking them in the face. That's exactly what happened with the Atheism Plus bullshit. It's exactly what happened with the Skeptic Society bullshit. And now it's like history repeating itself. These fucking troll cunts cannot contain themselves. They have to just keep dishing out the abuse. And they make the story, especially in the press, it all becomes about the abuse. And all the arguments that were being made just gets drawn along with it. The abuse is wrong, right? So all the people, everything that the abusers stand for is wrong, and everything that the abused stand for must therefore be right. It's like some kind of mercy dash that these people like Sarkeesian must be on. They win the argument without having to have the argument. And that's a fucking tragedy. I wouldn't want to win an argument that way. I can't speak for them, but what I can say is I don't want anybody else to win an argument that way. Thank you for letting me get this off my chest. Fucking frustrating the fuck out of me, this one. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.